Bobby knows that photography has a special power to communicate. He has spent a lot of time as a professional historian working with photography of the Civil War era and figuring out ways to share that with people in book form. So he's always had an interest in that.
He's been interested in it for a long time, and I think being able to collect and to display is just kind of a natural outgrowth of that original idea.
Yeah, and you're right. He is a historian, but in a way, it's different than just that. He is very interested in people.
He thinks the lives and the events of people in ordinary day-to-day activities is as important as the lives of people in higher station. And there's a good example. Recently, the Butler Center in the Concordia Hall had an exhibit on African-American portraits taken sometime between Reconstruction and World War II. And Bobby was fascinated with that because it showed that there really was this black middle class in Arkansas in the late 19th, early 20th century.
One photograph may be meaningless, but when you bring together 50 or 100 on a topic, you begin to get a sense of what the black middle class looked like, for example. They were here in Arkansas, they're not written about, but they're an important component of our history, and there you see them.
This was the first time
This was the first time they had a chance to have a say-so about their image, and so they took them proudly.
I always see the propriety of the people. They seem to be ready for life. You can see the times, the clothing, just the general attitude in the pictures.
The stolid character of their staring at the camera there gives you a sense of everything from fear to pride.
The mental image of those people in that studio saying, we want to capture this moment and say, this is who we are.
It showed that there was this component of life that was important, that was vital and vibrant, and he wants to make sure we don't forget about those kinds of aspects.
We need to understand our history, and we need to understand it in its whole context. It's not always glorious, it's not always good. Some of it is and some of it isn't, but we need to see it for what it really is. And I think if we do that, we'll be better citizens, and we'll be smarter. We'll think better if we do that.
The photographs are one of the best ways to convince people that they're part of the flow, they're part of the current of history.
Everything that happened in the past affects who we are now. And I think if you can see that, because we live in such a visual world, and sometimes photographs just catch that split second when something happens. You know, moving film doesn't do that, but a frame by frame photograph oftentimes just catches a glimpse of the past that nothing else does as well as that.
Having ways to pull people into this understanding that their lives are bound up with the rest of history is a really big deal to me.
I think photographs by their very nature are powerful. You know, they can convey meaning in ways that the written word can't do.
I definitely think Bobby is a huge supporter of using photography to support local history and support education. And I think he sees our archives as an underserved, underutilized possibly resource for that.
We think we have about 200,000 photographs in our collection. Photographs of farming in Arkansas and schools, all kinds of things about business, architecture, the streetscape. They're in these sleeves, stored in the ideal conditions of archival storage, and they're all just sitting there waiting.
A lot of those pictures are loose. They're just in various boxes scattered through the collection. And so everything needs to be possibly stabilized. They would need to be matted and framed. And all that, you know, is a cost, and it takes a lot of time.
I feel like they deserve to be seen and shared with people, and you know, that's what we're hoping to do with this.
Bobby's vision for our photograph collection and the gift he's made to start this fund to help us share it with people, I think of it as it's like we have a pathway. There are 200,000 photographs over there. It's going to help us share those with people so that when people come here, they can get like what geologists call a core sample. You know, they can dig down into Arkansas history through those photographs. They can use them to do, in a sense, time travel.
And we should see them as historic documents, and I think in some cases as pieces of art. They can be both, and when you can bring those two together and see them, I think that that sings to people. And it's just another way, I think, of learning a little bit more about the state and who we are.